It's the question on every business leader's mind. With all the money we're pouring into technology, does it actually pay off? Well, today we're going to find out. We hear it constantly, right? Digitalize or die. The pressure is absolutely immense. But after the bills are paid and the software is installed, is it really worth it? Does all that tech actually translate into better financial performance? Let's follow the money. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with what feels like a digital gold rush, then dig into a really fascinating case study from Slovakia to see the digital divide. We'll find out if digital really means dollars, why a good strategy is better than fancy tools, and then how you can start thinking about your own digital blueprint. So let's start with the big picture, the digital gold rush. And believe me, this isn't just some passing trend. It's a fundamental seismic shift. Things like Industry 4.0 got the ball rolling, and then the pandemic just hit the accelerator hard. Now, pretty much every business feels this intense pressure to go digital just to stay in the game. And on the surface, the reasons seem obvious, don't they? You want to streamline things, connect with your customers, innovate. But here's the real kicker. This isn't just about getting an edge anymore. For a lot of industries, this is now about basic survival. It's become table stakes. Okay, so to get past the hype and into some hard evidence, we're diving into this really insightful research paper. They looked at hundreds of actual businesses in Slovakia, a country that's right at the center of Europe's big economic transformation, to see what's really going on. But before we go any further, let's make sure we're on the same page. When we say digital transformation, we're not just talking about buying new software. The study nails it. It's a continuous change to create new value. The key word there is change. It's a complete shift in your processes, your structure, your culture, pretty much everything. So the researchers really boiled it all down to two simple, powerful questions. First, who's actually good at this? And second, the one we all want to know, does it actually make you more money? And this is where things get really interesting. The findings reveal a pretty stark reality. This whole journey to going digital is not a level playing field. There is a huge gap between the frontrunners and the ones lagging behind, a real digital divide. And it turns out, a company's chances of being digitally savvy isn't just random luck. It's predictable. In fact, the study found three key things that consistently separate the digital leaders from the pack. And what are these three magic predictors? It's pretty straightforward. The sector you're in, the size of your company, and your ownership structure. And wow, the data here shows a massive split. On one end of the spectrum, you've got your big industrial firms, the large public companies, where over 75% of their processes are digital. But on the other end, you've got small construction firms and private companies, where that number just nosedives to under 25%. The gap isn't just big, it's a chasm. So let's paint a picture here. Think of it as a tale of two companies. You've got the industrial giant, big, publicly traded, all in on tech. And then you have the cautious construction crew, a small, privately owned shop way behind the curve. The data shows this isn't just a story, it's a widespread pattern. So, the big takeaway from this section is pretty powerful. It's almost like a company's digital destiny is written right into its DNA. Your industry, your size, how you're owned, these aren't just minor details. They are huge predictors of who wins this digital race. Okay, so this all leads us right back to that million-dollar question. We know who's more digital, but does that actually mean more dollars? Let's get to the bottom line. And the answer from the study is a pretty loud and clear yes. The data shows a solid, positive connection between being more digital and the stuff that really matters: total assets, profits, and shareholder equity. In other words, being more digital really does seem to correlate with being financially healthier. But here's the twist. This is the part that nobody really saw coming. While assets and profits went up, the researchers found no significant link to a company's total debt. Now, just let that sink in for a second. It looks like going digital can make you richer without you having to pile on more debt to get there. That's a huge insight. So, what's the big lesson in all of this? Well, it seems the winners aren't just the ones buying the most tech. They're the ones with a smarter plan. It's not about the shiny new tools you buy, it's all about the strategy you build around them. And the study's main conclusion really hammers this point home. There is no one-size-fits-all magic bullet for digitalization. A strategy that's brilliant for a huge industrial company will probably be a total disaster for a small local business. Context is everything. You see, a real strategic approach is way bigger than just the IT department. It's about making sure your tech actually supports your business goals. It's investing in your people's skills, building a culture that's okay with change, and actually measuring if any of this stuff is working.
The goal isn't just to automate what you've always done, it's to totally transform how you do business.
And that brings us to the most important part, right? How do you take all these lessons and actually apply them? How do you build a digital blueprint that's right for your business? Well, the research gives us some great starting points. If you're one of those big industrial players, it's all about heavy hitters like AI and IoT to squeeze out every bit of efficiency. If you're a smaller, service-based company, your focus should be laser sharp on tools that make your customer experience amazing. And for the really small businesses, the smartest play might be to team up, form alliances to share the cost and the know-how. So, at the end of the day, the big takeaway is crystal clear. We all need to stop asking if we should go digital. That debate is over. The real question, the one that separates the winners from the losers, is how you do it in a way that works for your unique business. Because ultimately, digitalization isn't a product you buy off the shelf. It's a plan you execute. So the only question left to ask is, what's yours?